Donald Trump's brain is made of pudding, and the mainstream media refuses to cover it. With very few exceptions, no one is talking about the clear cognitive decline that we can see Donald Trump experiencing every day. He does not know what is happening in his White House. He doesn't even know what decisions he has made. And that was highlighted in a clip shared on Fox. Yes, Fox aired a video that now has a Trump health scandal erupting in the worst way and at the worst time. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting the work that we're doing. Now, before we can get into that clip that Fox airs that set off this entire scandal, we got to begin with where it started. And that's a recent decision Pete Hegseth made behind Trump's back.
Pete Hegseth is once again under scrutiny after new reporting details how Donald Trump and White House staff were not informed of a pause on weapons shipments to Ukraine last week. The Associated Press described Trump as being caught, quote, flat-footed by the announcement, reporting that Trump's decision to send more defense weapons to Ukraine came after he privately expressed frustration with Pentagon officials for announcing a pause in some deliveries last week, a move that he felt wasn't properly coordinated with the White House, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. The White House did not respond to questions about whether Trump was surprised by the Pentagon pause. Additionally, CNN is reporting that the U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine, retired General Keith Kellogg, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's also Donald Trump's national security advisor, were also not told about the pause beforehand and learned about it from press reports, according to a senior administration official and 2 of their sources.
It should come as a surprise to no one that Donald Trump doesn't care about the work of governing, but this chaos that is constant in his White House is incredibly concerning to anyone aware of how incompetent Pete Hegseth is. I certainly don't want anyone in this administration making high-level decisions, but Pete Hegseth has proved himself consistently to be a failure at doing so. And the fact that they're going around the White House just goes to show that there is a separate agenda that Hegseth is operating around and abandoning Ukraine in any way he possibly can. The White House had approved munition shipments. Pete Hegseth cut them off, and he was so comfortable doing so because he knows how broken Donald Trump's brain is. Now, before we get into that video, which is exactly what confirmed that, I want to take a look at Trump's response to this question of Hegseth and what Lawrence O'Donnell had to say.
Mr. President, you have sent more weapons to Ukraine, as you said last night. Last week, the Pentagon paused some shipments of weapons to Ukraine. Did you approve of that pause?
We wanted to put defensive weapons because Putin is not treating human beings right. He's killing too many people. So we're sending some defensive weapons to Ukraine, and I've approved that.
So who ordered the pause last week?
I don't know. What did you tell me?
I think that's a question for the Pentagon.
Go ahead. Yeah.
In your lifetime of listening to presidents being asked questions about policy situations they are actively engaged in every day, you have never once heard a president say, I haven't thought about it. It takes Trumpian stupidity to say something like that. And when you're as stupid as Donald Trump, you have no idea how stupid your stupidity sounds. Donald Trump is trapped in his stupidity. There is no way he can fake sounding smart about anything, not even his lifetime passion and greatest expertise, golf, which he simply lies about.
Lawrence O'Donnell is consistently the only person in mainstream media giving proper coverage to Donald Trump's cognitive decline, making it clear that this is not only something which is incredibly scary to us, but we should be concerned that the press doesn't want to pay attention. All the conversations ever happening about Joe Biden in his last year in office were about what shoes he was wearing, what word he missaid. It was just constant coverage, and we can't get any of that for Donald Trump, who's making more radical decisions in a more unfit state. Really? Well, now we kind of have to, because after Fox aired a Pete Hegseth clip from a few days ago, Donald Trump sent a post about it that set off a huge concern over his health, and I want to take a look. Sundowning again. Trump's new gaffe ignites speculation of cognitive decline. Donald Trump gushed over his Pentagon chief's Friday morning appearance on Fox, but sharp-eyed observers questioned the state of his cognitive health, noting there was no such appearance. Trump wrote on Truth Social, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was great on Fox News this morning, talking about modern weapons in warfare. Thank you also to the host who really knows his stuff. We are really on our way, MAGA. But as the Daily Beast noted, Hegseth, whose title remains Secretary of Defense, was traveling Friday and never appeared on the conservative network. Instead, the president appeared to be fooled as the network shared a clip of Hegseth shared on his Twitter account. That video was posted on Thursday, taken down, and reposted on Friday. In it, Hegseth dons a suit outside the Pentagon as drones zip around him, proudly declaring, "You know what? We know why we were put here. We were brought here to rebuild the military." He said he expedited the production and deployment of drones and signed a memo acknowledging as such that was handed to him by one of the machines. "This is the future. We're in the fight," he adds in the clip. Fox News repeatedly shared the clip, according to the Beast, but the network clearly noted it was from Thursday. Trump critics let the president have it. Independent journalist Aaron Rupar wrote on Twitter, Pete Hegseth was not on Fox on Friday morning. They did play a clip of the video, however, that Hegseth had posted on his social media. Perhaps a confused Trump thought it was live. The Republicans Against Trump account replied to Rupar on X, saying Trump's cognitive decline is getting hard to ignore. Software engineer Alex Joel chided, "I'm not sure Trump knows the difference between live and pre-recorded, if we're being honest," and a former MSNBC host and Zateo founder Mehdi Hassan lost it. "Imagine if it was Biden," he railed. Self-described news junkie Lauren Ashley Davis wrote on X, "Donald Trump is sundowning again." So after Fox shared a clip that explicitly said it was pre-recorded, Donald Trump thinks that Pete Hegseth was appearing live. Now, one, that on its own is pretty concerning and confusing. But two, Donald Trump not only doesn't know the decisions that Pete Hegseth is making, but he didn't know that he was traveling on Friday. He doesn't know where Pete Hegseth is. He doesn't know anything about his administration. Stephen Miller has essentially taken over, and even as Donald Trump asked for ICE raids on farms and hotels and other hospitality industries to stop, Stephen Miller is going around his back. He's doing whatever he wants. Kristi Noem is doing the same. Donald Trump is not in control of his administration because everyone understands he's too confused to understand what's happening. That is the Trump administration right now. And it is why the division over the Jeffrey Epstein scandal proves to be so disastrous, because as Trump is out of control, it only gets more out of control. And we saw that right here.
NBC News confirming with two sources tonight. The deputy director of the FBI, the number 2 at the Bureau, Dan Bongino, didn't report for work today. And he may be on the verge of quitting altogether after openly clashing in the White House with Attorney General Pam Bondi over her handling of the case. Now, before he got his job, Bongino was making a living doing stuff like this.
I got a big question about the Epstein files. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
Now Bongino is out there in a suit and tie with the FBI director and former fellow podcaster Kash Patel, trying to unwind all that conspiracy stuff. Last week, he was back on Fox promising a new video that would maybe put the story to rest.
There's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, there was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Okay, remember that phrase, gonna give you the original so you don't think there's any shenanigans, right? So sure enough, on Monday, the DOJ released nearly 11 hours of video showing the hallway outside Epstein's cell. That was supposed to prove there were, quote, no shenanigans. But then, as journalist Julie K. Brown noted on our show this week, neither the doors shown there were even Epstein's cell. On top of that, the video was missing 1 minute of recording. Pam Bondi's attempts to explain that missing minute didn't really help convince these suspicious conspiracy theorists.
And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Okay, that's it. Done. Now, Bondi had already stepped in it with the Epstein obsesses after promising months ago that his client list was on her desk for review, then saying there was no client list this week. Her explanation of the video gap didn't help. And this report from Wired magazine today isn't going to help either. An analysis of the metadata from the video shows the footage was modified, likely using the professional editing tool Adobe Premiere Pro. In fact, they add the file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 source clips, saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded to DOJ's website, where it was presented as raw footage. Now, Wired says there's no evidence the footage was deceptively manipulated. But again, it's not doing wonders for the White House's credibility with precisely the people in their base who are the most skeptical of this kind of thing. And again, that's at the heart of the emerging power struggle in the administration. This isn't some ancillary internet thing, okay? According to the New York Times, it erupted into an angry face-to-face confrontation at the White House on Wednesday when an irate Ms. Bondi accused Mr. Bongino of leaking information to the news media in the presence of FBI Director Kash Patel, the White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and one of her deputies. A source close to Bongino told NBC News today, Bongino is out of control furious. This destroyed his career. He's threatening to quit and torch Pam unless she's fired. Man, you wouldn't want to be a kettlebell in Dan Bongino's home gym on a day like today. It's a common sentiment in MAGA world today. Remember, Trump openly courted all these people, the sort of deep state conspiracy theorists, right? The voters who believe Trump's shtick, that there's some system of bad guys that's rigged against them by the elites, but he's not one, right? And that these elites patronize child sex trafficking rings, and that Epstein was at the heart of it. And this was a critical part of the MAGA coalition. Like, I honestly think the kinds of folks that are sort of believe this are gave him his margin of victory. And today, these people are in rebellion.
This is the most famous pedophile in modern day history, and people are absolutely not going to accept just a memo that was written that says there is no client list.
It's not about just a pedophile ring and all that. This is about who governs us, right? For this to go away, you're going to lose 10% of the MAGA movement. If we lose 10% of the MAGA movement right now, we're going to lose 40 seats in 26.
So we're stupid.
Yeah.
We're the idiots, guys. Just to let you know,
I mean,
we're wasting
look at
time.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
That is, like, in all seriousness, that is, I think, what is enraging people right now.
Donald Trump's administration is in shambles, and we are really going to enjoy watching its downfall. And of course, if you want to watch and enjoy that with us, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.